Do you know what your dog actually does the moment you walk out of the room? You think they just go back to whatever they were doing, settle onto the couch, scratch an ear, drift back towards sleep. But the second you disappear through that doorway, something in their brain quietly switches on, and it doesn't switch off until you come back. Some of what they do next reveals exactly how they feel about you. Some of it looks completely ordinary, barely worth noticing, but most owners are reading it wrong. And by the end of this, you won't be. The last one? It's the quietest thing they do, and it's the one that tells you the most. You get up to grab water from the kitchen. You don't look back. But if you had, your dog is sitting in exactly the same spot, head turned toward the doorway, eyes fixed on the precise place where you disappeared, not moving, not making a sound, just watching. Most owners assume this is their dog being needy, maybe bored, but here's what's actually happening. They're not waiting for something to do. They're tracking your exit point. Doorways are boundaries. Behaviorists observe that dogs are deeply attuned to thresholds, the edges of what they understand as their den space. When you leave, your dog doesn't search randomly for where you went. They lock their gaze on the last point where they saw you, logging your trajectory so they know exactly which direction you'll return from. It's spatial tracking. And you're the one being tracked. In a pack, knowing where a member went is how the group stays coordinated. Your dog is running that same system, specifically for you. That unblinking stare isn't strange. It's them refusing to lose track of you. But some dogs don't just stare at the door. They move to it. And where they position their body once they get there tells you something else entirely. You step outside for 5 minutes. Trash, mail, a quick errand, nothing significant. When you come back, your dog is on the other side of the door. Not barking, not scratching, just posted there, nose dropped near the gap at the bottom, completely still. Most owners assume their dog just missed them. Sweet maybe, but a little over-attached. But here's what's actually happening. They've taken a guard position at a compromised entry point. The front door is the most porous boundary in the house. Sound bleeds through it. Outside, scent seeps in around the frame. The air near that door smells different from the rest of your home, and your dog knows exactly why. Trainers commonly report that dogs will plant themselves at the exact door their owner exited, not just any door, and use scent tracking to stay oriented to you through it. They're not panicking. They're holding the post. A door a pack member just walked through is an unresolved exit. It's not secure again until you're back. Your dog isn't falling apart without you. They're covering the gap you left in the boundary. And if your dog follows you room to room before you even reach the door, there's a specific moment in that walk worth watching for because it happens fast and almost everyone misses it. You grab your keys. Your dog gets up. They always know somehow even before the keys appear, and follows you down the hallway, right to the front door. And then at the threshold, they stop. Just sit down. Watch you leave, ears slightly forward. They don't cross it. Most owners figure that's just good training. They know not to bolt outside. But here's the part no one tells you. That stop isn't only obedience. It's a self-imposed boundary, and it's a trust signal. Dogs carry a clear internal sense of den space versus outside territory. When your dog voluntarily holds at the threshold, without a command, without being told to stay, behaviorists observe this as deference behavior. They're registering that you are the one heading into uncertain space and choosing to hold the interior. It's a role being assigned, calmly, in real time. Someone has to guard the inside. Your dog just decided that's them. If your dog sits quietly at the door and watches you go without pushing through, that's a dog that trusts you to handle whatever's out there while they protect everything behind them. But what happens in the minutes right after that door closes? Some dogs do something most owners would never expect. And if you've ever reviewed your home camera footage, you already know what I mean. You pull out of the driveway, on camera. The second your car moves, your dog shifts from the door to the nearest window, pressed against the glass, watching the direction your car went, tracking it until it disappears from view. Then they stay there, still, before finally moving away. Most owners assume this is anxiety, a dog that doesn't cope well with being alone. But here's what's actually happening. They're completing a directional track. They need to know which way you went. Dogs build mental maps using both scent and visual trajectory together. Some studies suggest dogs can anticipate how long you'll be gone based on how much of your scent remains, saturating the space around them. The window watch isn't grief, it's data collection. Then they're filing your direction, so their internal alert stays calibrated to exactly when and where to expect you back. If you know which way someone went, you know which direction to watch for their return. Watch for this next time. A dog tracking your car down the street isn't struggling. They're staying oriented to you. If you're the kind of person who actually pays attention to what your dog is telling you, you're already ahead of most owners. Subscribe if you want more of this, because the next two are the ones people message me about most. You've been gone an hour. Your dog isn't at the window anymore. You check the camera. They've moved to the couch. Not their spot, yours. The exact cushion you always sit on, chin flat down, eyes open but still. Most owners assume they just took the opportunity for the comfortable seat. But here's what's actually happening. They're using your scent as a regulation tool. Trainers commonly report, and scent research supports, that when separated from their owner, dogs will seek out surfaces saturated with that person's specific scent. Your skin chemistry, your cortisol trace, the warmth your body left pressed into that fabric, it's all still there. And it tells your dog what they need to hear in that moment. You were here. You're real. You're coming back. It's self-soothing through scent memory. And it works far better than most people realize. Your scent is the closest substitute for your actual presence. By lying in your spot, they're keeping you in the room. Without you being in the room, that dog on your cushion isn't being opportunistic. They're staying close the only way they currently can. And there's one more. The quietest behavior, the hardest to catch. It happens right before you get home. And if you miss this one, you might be misreading your dog for years. You're 10 minutes away, still driving. Your dog has already gotten up from the cushion. They've moved back toward the door, ears slightly raised, weight shifted forward, waiting. Before they could have heard your car, before there's any reasonable explanation for how they'd know. Most owners who catch this on camera assume it's coincidence. The dog just happened to move. But here's the part no one tells you. Some researchers believe dogs may detect your scent arriving ahead of you, carried on air currents that reach the house before your car does. And beyond that, your dog has spent years building a recognition model, calibrated entirely around you. Your return window, the subtle environmental shifts that precede you, the sounds that consistently come right before you walk in. And they've been paying attention to your patterns far longer than you've been paying attention to theirs. If your dog is already at the door when you get home, they didn't just hear you, they expected you. Your dog's deepest bonding behaviors don't happen when you're in the room watching. They happen in the quiet after you leave, at the door, at the window, in your spot on the couch. None of it is performed. There's no audience, no reward waiting. They do it anyway. It's not neediness. It's not anxiety. It's the quietest version of loyalty you'll ever see. And it happens every single time you leave.